Just in a quick video for That's News TV on the appalling state of footpaths and accessibility for disabled people in mobility scooters and wheelchairs. This obviously hasn't been maintained in goodness knows how many years, and how are you supposed to get a mobility scooter through that gap there? It's obvious this footpath hasn't been surfaced in, 30 years, maybe more. Crazy attitude towards disabled people. And why are there no dropped curbs? What's that all about? As for this, well, it's not as bad as some of the other areas, but it's still acting like a chicane for people in wheelchairs, and also parents with pushchairs. They must have a bit of a bad time of it as well. And to use the vernacular British expression, this is taking the piss. How do they expect somebody in a wheelchair to get through this? So somebody just come 2 miles along that path I'll just walk down, and they find that they can't get through because someone has decided to put barriers, wooden barriers and metal barriers. Come on, councils, this just is not good enough. Why are you hurting the interests of disabled people? People in mobility scooters will be forced to stay at home, and that is just not good enough. Councils in the UK really need to get their fingers out. And here's another example of very poor footpath maintenance. How are people supposed to use their mobility scooters on such appalling terrain? It's almost as if there's a deliberate policy to keep older and physically handicapped and physically disadvantaged people at home and not letting them go out. I mean, obviously councils would say, oh, that's not our intention at all. That might not be their intention, but unfortunately it is the result of their policies. If you put chicanes up, if you don't bother to maintain pavements, what on earth would you expect the result to be? Especially in the winter. I mean, it's bad enough in a dry day like this, but if it's wet and rainy or snowy and icy, disabled people just do not have a chance to actually get out and enjoy the community. And there we have another prime example of council maintenance. Here, this footpath is at least 1 or 1.5 feet short, narrower than it should be, because nobody bothers to maintain it. It almost seems, it really does, seem as if they don't care about disabled people or mums with prams. It's a bizarre attitude. Well, yep. Another sign of lack of maintenance by the council. Yeah. Another example of fantastic maintenance. Or not. This road hasn't been, footpath hasn't been done in, 30 years to my knowledge. And seems to be getting worse rather than better. Due, of course, to lack of maintenance. here. I do know someone who has used a mobility scooter on this particular route in the winter, and believe me, it's not easy. And some people have actually been shaken off mobility scooters, the lightweight ones, because of the appalling maintenance of the path. As you can see, it's actually becoming narrower and narrower and narrower. And it doesn't seem any better on the other side of the road either, for that matter.